Hi there, I'm Rebecca Muller. I'm an embodied mindfulness and meditation teacher, and I've spent the last 10 years of my life helping people heal from betrayals and traumas of every kind through mindfulness and embodiment. And I am currently obsessed with the movie Wicked. Not only does this movie speak so clearly to my own personal journey of moving through relational trauma, but it speaks to every person on the planet who's ever had to face that kind of trauma in their own lives. So today, I want to give you 5 mindfulness-based tips on how you can step into your own badass Elphaba self. Tip number 1, acceptance. One of the goals of meditation and mindfulness is to be able to see clearly. We don't see clearly when we're either pushing away or needing to prove ourselves, feeling any need to justify. We see clearly when we can allow it to be as it is. It just is. It's like a calm, centered witnessing. It's like that moment in the movie when Elphaba says, without any heightened emotion or anything, just, I don't want it. I can't want it anymore, because she's able to hold, this is what this is. This is the reality of the situation I'm dealing with. And I just have to sit with that for a moment and allow it just to be. So you have to keep nurturing that acceptance of it is. Otherwise, they're still controlling you. So it has to become, this just is the way it is. And clarity around, there are some things that I can change here. There are some things that I cannot change here. And what is my next right step going to be in light of all of that? The second mindfulness tip for my Elphabas is this beautiful core question: can I be with this? When we bring acceptance to something, it doesn't mean that we bring approval to it. It doesn't mean that we bow down to it. It just means that we are able to accept the reality that this is what the situation is. So once we're able to accept that, we have to then be able to say, can I be with this in my own self, in my own body? And this is a journey that's so embodied. And I've been teaching trauma recovery blended with fitness for 10 years. When you're moving through these types of experiences that bring so many strong emotions like anger, rage, even grief can have a really strong edge to grief. It's so helpful to come back and be in your body every day through exercise. I use fitness as a vehicle for people to release those kinds of emotions. So through exercise, you can learn to consciously use your breath and your body to release the emotion that your body's storing. It's so important to be in your body on a regular basis, if not daily, then several times a week. Strong modalities like high intensity interval training, martial arts and kickboxing, even Zumba dance, if it's a high intensity class and it's taught as a really expressive way of moving, can really help you move this emotion through your body. And you can make the conscious choice to use that breath and that body to release. Tip number 3, you have to know who you are down to your bones to be able to step into a badass Elphaba self. So that means you know yourself past the stories in your head, past your narrative, past your life situation, all the way down into this embodied presence, this deeper entity of who I am, mind, body, spirit, this presence. Elphaba knows her power through her body. Her body expresses her power, and you are no different. You will come to know your deepest power and that more expansive understanding of who you are as a mind, body, spiritual being through your body, not through the stories you come up with about who you are or the stories other people tell you about who you are. This kind of knowing comes from regular mindfulness and meditation practice, just from these simple tools of breath and body awareness that help you tap into a different part of your brain. It's called the presence-centered network, and it's actually a completely different way that your brain functions that allows you to be more aware of yourself as this whole being, more aware of the felt sense and landscape of emotions and intelligence that's constantly flowing through your system. Knowing yourself at that deeper level, deeper than the story in your head, deeper than the story you've been told, is essential to stepping into your badass Elphaba self. Tip number 4, you have to stop apologizing or trying to prove yourself. And that really starts to happen organically the more you deepen your awareness of who you are at this deeper level. Because when you know yourself as that, you don't need to defend yourself to anyone else because you know it. And once you know that inside yourself, you have the courage and you can learn to dance alone. And this is pointing to that pivotal scene where Elphaba shows up and is obviously the outcast of the community, and she's able to stand in her space and listen to her body and start to move and allow herself to be seen for exactly who she is. And the thing that's amazing is when you have done the work inside yourself to find that reservoir of strength within yourself, people might actually decide they want to come dance with you. They might be interested in that, but it won't be because you've tried to prove anything, that you're right, that you're good, that you're worthy. It will be because they can feel themselves in you at that deepest level. And there's something so powerful and true that just resonates when someone's done that kind of work in themselves. It's a knowing that doesn't need anyone else's approval. It's a knowing that stands in its own authority. So you've got to stop using your energy to try to prove yourself or get other people to see you the way you want them to see you. And instead use your energy to keep connecting back into that part of yourself that doesn't need to be defended. And tip number 5, you have to learn how to let all of that emotion, every different part of this really excruciating experience of being betrayed, abandoned, manipulated, being oppressed by a power structure, and you have to allow it to fuel you to fly, to alchemize that messy cocktail towards your highest good, to step into your full power and create something beautiful in the world that really is like your destiny. It's like, this is what I was born to do. And when you're pushed into that kind of a journey where you have to kind of step into your most authentic self, this is like the beautiful pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, is that sooner or later there's going to come a really deep sense of purpose of like, I know exactly who I am and what I'm meant to be doing in this world, and how all of who I am can serve something greater than myself, can serve a greater good. I can help other people, because valid anger is a vehicle for change. And you can allow that anger to move through you, to propel you to make choices and step into uncomfortable situations that you would never have the guts to do without that feeling of anger in your body motivating you towards action, because anger is a motivator. It has a purpose and a place. So those are my 5 tips. Thank you so much for watching this video. If it interests you, you should totally take our test. Are you an Elphaba or a Glinda? And get kind of a customized breakdown on some of the things you might need to reach toward, nurture, or let go of to be able to stand in your fullest power as you navigate your own version of Oz. Thanks. I hope to see you again on here.